Big Blue Thumb Productions presents the Podlie Podcast. Here's your hosts, Podlie Bill, Podlie Cliff, and Podlie Paul. Good morning. Good morning, Saturday morning.
Well.
Morning, everybody.
Episode, is this 202?
Yeah.
Is that right?
203.
Wow.
202. No, 202.
202. We got lots of comments coming in here
I'm
already.
ahead of
Good
me
morning,
time.
all. We have Nicole. Good morning, boys. It is
Saturday.
There we go.
It's Saturday.
Got it out of the way early.
It's Saturday, bloody morning.
Morning, Laura.
Morning, Laura.
We're here, and yeah, it is Saturday.
One
morning.
of my trivia questions last night. Elton John's real name is
Dwight.
Reginald Dwight.
Reginald
Dwight.
Wow.
Yeah, Reginald Dwight.
Can you imagine? I don't think his music would be quite as popular had he gone under the name Reginald.
Hello, my name is Sir Reginald Dwight.
Yeah, I'm going to see the Reginald Dwight tour this year.
The Reggie D.
Yeah.
Reggie
He could have been
D.
a rap star. Reggie D. Yo, Reggie.
Reginald Dwight.
Reggie D.
Yo, Reggie D.
Can't remember his middle name.
Yeah, so I
Are
don't
you a rocket man, Reggie D?
I don't know if you remember. So last week we started, and Paul was kind of running in because he had to go for a washroom break like a minute
Right.
before the show. So we just made it in time. So this show, it was the other person over here.
You
that
know me
Cliff.
so well.
That Cliff came running in just prior
Coming
to,
in hot,
to
ladies and
the-
gentlemen.
to the
Coming in
cameras
hot.
starting up after Paul and I were here all night setting up.
Oh, let's
And-
hit it again.
Yeah, apologies to all of you watching for the beer on my breath still. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cliff, and he's all dressed up, and we're not. So I felt like I was kind of underdressed. Hello there, Jamie.
Yeah, damn, dude, you look sexy.
I'm too
Do some-
sexy for
We
this
don't. We
podcast.
working this morning? No.
He's even got the fancy brown dress shoes on, and wow,
I like me bloody shoes. Then they're rather nice. Then they're very
yeah,
good. Then,
those are
rather
nice,
than-
nice shoes. Not
I
for-
love shoes. I'm a shoe person.
Are you a shoe guy?
Anybody else a shoe person?
Well, I have a
No.
pair similar to that
Yeah.
actually. I should have worn them or wore them next week. We'd have matching shoes.
Matching
almost.
shoes. Me and Billy in the matching
In-
shoes
in the matching
department.
brown shoes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a shoe guy. I like shoes
How many pairs do you own?
more than my wife.
Is that right? Is that
Oh,
right? eh?
Wow. You,
Probably 3 times more than my wife.
you have a room separate just for all your shoes.
I'm not, okay, I'm not at Imelda Marcos level.
Yeah,
I was,
For those
I was
who don't
just
know
thinking
who
that. Imelda
is.
Marcos
Yeah.
over here.
Wow.
I'm
for those-
specifically a Vans guy. I've got 4 pairs of Vans.
Yeah. I like. Honestly, I'm such a shoe guy that I like. I mean, I have Vans. I have, and then when I was drumming, when I was starting, I thought I was
Yeah,
going to learn how to drum. I learned a little bit. You needed good shoes for drumming. So then, I had a couple of Vans for that, and nice
Yeah.
flat high tops are good for that.
Yeah.
Stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Good.
But
don't think
dress
I've ever-
shoes, though, I don't know. I think there's something about sounds like I'm saying. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with it, but there's something about a man in a suit,
nice
in
shoe.
a nice suit with a nice
Yeah,
shoes.
that's
Yeah.
true.
I mean, turns me on, man.
That is true.
Turns women on too.
And again,
not
not
that
that
there's
there's
anything
not
anything
that
wrong
there's
with
anything wrong with
Uh,
what about you guys? Hey,
good.
does it? All the women currently on the podcast. Question for you: does it still mean anything to you in this day and age to see a man dressed in a suit and a nice crisp suit, a white shirt, a tie, or whatever the case be? Does that still something that is interesting to you of the fairer sex?
And I'll
I'd be curious
piggyback.
to know.
Let me piggyback on that. I read something years ago that the first thing that a woman looks at in terms of a man's attire is his shoes. I want to know if
that
that
right?
is. Yeah, I want to know if that's true or false.
Oh, hey,
ladies.
let us
What do
know
you
if
guys
that's
think?
true.
I want to know if that's true or false. Is the first thing you look at is a man's shoes or their penguin socks
their
for
penguin
that matter.
socks.
For
Yeah.
that matter.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Because
dressed up.
Nicole- because
Hey, I'm in my
Nicole-
tuxedo here, boys and
There we
girls.
go. Nicole says she likes Paulie's penguin socks.
And that's totally Saturday for sure.
Why? Thank you.
Yeah,
Right then.
Sorry, Nicole, we already did the Saturday once, so we're trying to,
We're trying to limit it in
limit it
favor of
this
Paul.
year in favor of Paul,
That's right.
even though we are actually on a Saturday now. So,
On a what, Bill?
Oh, Jesus.
Going back a couple comments, so Laura said she doesn't think that if Elton John had used his real name, it would have mattered.
You don't think he would have mattered, or you don't think his music would have mattered? You don't think he
Reginald.
would have mattered as much, or what's the deal?
Reginald. Yeah.
Reginald
Dwight.
Dwight. Yeah.
And what kind of a last name is Dwight?
Dwight. Reginald Dwight. You ever met another Dwight?
First name Dwight.
I know first name Dwight.
I've met first name Dwight.
Last name
Never
Dwight.
met I've never met a last name Dwight.
No.
Nope.
But you know, it's funny, right? These people that change their names to get a good stage name and all. At one time, I would have, in my more naive years, would have said, "Oh, you should just keep your real name." But then, as I sort of got older and blah blah blah, you realize that no, there are certain names that ring better. That sound
100%.
Which is why I think you have a lot of whether it be musicians or actors, actresses, etc., that do change their names, right? Because they want a better sounding.
Well, as a radio guy, I don't use my last name.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they outwardly say you can't. I'm sorry.
So what is your last name on the radio?
Dunn. D-U-N-N.
Dunn.
D-U-N-N.
So how did you come up with that?
Yeah.
I was given it.
Oh, nice.
I was given it. Yeah. You know what I tried for? Funny story. I tried for Paul Huck. My last name is Huck.
Yeah.
One of the radio stations pushed back and said that's entirely too close to.
Right.
And I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. So
you should have said you started with a PH.
well, my pH level is low, baby. My pH level is low. I did start. I was for about a week. I was Paul Huck, and then it got quashed.
And they named you Paul Dunn.
Paul Dunn, D-U-N.
Dunn like dinner.
Done like dinner.
Dunn like, well, it was funny because when
Jamie
I was
says she likes seeing Jimmy in a suit. Well, that's nice.
Okay.
Good.
But that's not kind of a full answer to your
And
question.
Jamie, I know both you and Jimmy very well. Do you like seeing Jimmy in a suit because you don't see Jimmy in a suit often, or because you like seeing Jimmy in a suit because he wears it quite often and you're comfortable with it?
But honestly, she didn't qualify it. I mean,
No,
she could have meant she didn't tell us what kind of a suit. I mean, it could be the birthday
suit.
Well, Laura
could be the
says,
birthday suit.
James, can you go back to that one? And again, by the way, good morning to James. James is here with us again.
James, thank you.
Laura's last comment. So she says, depends on the place and time. Sometimes a nice sweater is enough. So again, is it only you're not wearing anything else except
Just
a sweater?
the sweater, yeah.
Well, Laura, I guess that's what's
Camera from the waist up, my friends.
And I saw
Camera from
Amy
the
flash
waist
by
up.
as well. Amy, if you're online, hi.
hello, Amy. Yeah, I think I saw Amy there as well. So just a sweater.
There you are. Morning, Ames.
Good morning, pretty Podlie.
Pretty Podlies, the
Wow.
PPs, man. I like it.
Wow.
What about you, Amy? Do you like to see a man in a suit? So far, Laura says she just likes a sweater and nothing else. So just curious.
Well, that's James caught that one. He's I think that gave him a wrong picture.
This podcast could take a whole new,
Different tone.
text.
That's going to take a different
Next-
tone.
Next week we're just coming in
There
sweaters.
we go. Hey, James, while you're there, man, I'd be curious to move on a little bit to continue on with the
Yes.
real names while we're going through
Yeah.
this podcast. And I'd be curious, like for instance, the guy I'm named after is Cliff Richard.
Oh, okay.
My
I
mom
didn't know
loved,
you're named after Cliff
I'm
Richard.
named after Cliff Richard.
That's a great story.
And well, my mom loved Cliff Richard.
Yeah.
And, actually, the whole story is I don't want to bore anybody. I'll just give you one sentence. Do you remember the Christmas crackers? You pull it. And
Yeah,
somebody
sure.
wins.
Yeah.
So my mom had a name. My dad had a name.
Mhm.
They pulled one of these bonbons.
Yep.
To see who wins, and my
Yep.
mom won.
Yep.
And so she got to choose the name, and I became
Oh, nice.
Cliff
Richard.
because her favorite artist at the time
Yep.
was Cliff
Cliff
Richard.
Richard,
'Cause- well, they used to call him the Elvis of the UK. Right?
Well,
He was so
yeah.
before
worldwide.
there
Yes,
was
that's
there
right.
was Cliff Richard, and then there was the Beatles.
Then there was the
Anything
Beatles,
before the Beatles was just Cliff
Which
Richard
is Cliff Richard
Yeah.
and Shadows, right?
and Shadows.
Yeah.
But he is like me. He's part British, part East Indian. He was born in India.
Yep.
Blah
Yeah.
blah blah, all that sort of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So, but my mom loved him. She was crazy about him. So that's. But what is his real name? James, is it Cliff Richard? It could be. I don't know.
So then your mom loved Cliff Richard. Had you been born 6 years later, you might have been Paul George John Ringo.
You never know, right?
Yeah.
Hey, are you named after anybody?
I'm actually named exactly after my dad.
William, eh?
Nice.
So I was the
Nice.
junior. So our names were identical. And I don't know why they decided to do that. Well, my parents decided to name me identical. after my
Hey,
dad.
I tell you.
But
I think that's such an honor, right? I mean,
Yeah.
as much as I love the story of my mom and God bless her, I'm happy she won because I was her last child and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But my brother Alex, I mean, talk about a different handle, right? He was named after 3 grandfathers. His whole name was quite the handle. It's Alexander Charles Hamilton
oh,
Smith.
Wow.
So he was named after
Alexander Hamilton.
Alexander
Yeah.
Charles Hamilton.
Oh, my daughter would
Smith.
like that. Alexander
Look at
Hamilton.
this. So Cliff
Cliff Richard.
Richard was actually Harry Roger Webb.
I thought so. Strange name, Roger Webb, right?
You could have been
Roger.
Harry Smith.
I could have been
You could have
Harry.
been- you could have been Harry Smith.
Definitely not Harry. That's for sure. And that's Harry with an A, not,
Yeah.
Yeah, so Harry Webb. I
Wow.
knew that wasn't his real name. And what a strange name. Can you imagine? Ladies and gentlemen, it's Harry Webb Rogers and the Shadows. It
Yeah.
doesn't work, right?
Amy says a nicely dressed man on a daily basis is wonderful, and then when you see your man dressed up in a nice suit and extra put together, that's like the cherry on top.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, I wondered that, right?
Yep.
Because our society has changed. Well, I don't know about our society, but our society in my circles, let's say,
Yep.
has changed so significantly in the last while.
Mm-hmm.
Like even in 2000, whatever, early mid 2000s, when I was working for the Brick and general sales manager and whatnot, we're always in a suit. I mean, my whole life was in a suit.
The way it was, yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny because James can attest to this. Teachers, I remember I grew up in a house
Well,
of
of course.
teachers, and it was my mom and dad, my mom in a dress and my dad in a tie,
Oh, yeah.
and a jacket every single day.
That's right.
And James, if you want to chime in, like they're in tracksuits. Well, I mean, coaches are in tracksuits, but they're dressed down. I mean, tattoos showing aplenty and everything. Would you agree with that, James?
Yeah, James agrees.
And James, is there, I guess for lack of a better term, is there a dress code for teachers now?
I don't think so.
You wouldn't think
You
so.
just can't wear just a sweater.
Like,
That would scare the
you
You can't wear just a sweater.
that would scare the kids. No,
No.
no Winnie the Poohing, James says.
James says no Winnie the Pooh.
No,
Oh, there's
to wear your
Suzanne.
pants.
Suzanne says, hi, I'm fashionably late.
Hi,
Right?
Suzanne, you're definitely fashionable.
Yeah. Laura, by the way, William Kirkland said earlier that he was named after his dad as well.
Oh, nice.
Laura, I was supposed to be named Lara after the character from Chivago, but my mom couldn't say the name, so I was named Laura.
Laura,
Yeah, she's supposed to name Lara. So Lara is
Lara.
from Dr. Zhivago.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
have not seen that movie.
That is an immense movie.
Mhm.
Dr. Zhivago is a beautiful movie.
I've
It's
heard.
an old movie. It's a long movie, and so on and so forth.
It's a
And
very
the
long movie.
theme from Dr. Zhivago
Mm.
is called Lara's theme.
Laura's song,
Yeah.
Laura's theme.
Lara's
That's what
theme.
it is. Laura's theme.
And it's written, and the Percy Faith Orchestra
Mhm.
does the best version of it,
Mhm.
which is
Mhm.
the same version you heard all of the soap opera people heard on The Young and the Restless.
And if memory serves, I think that's my mom and dad's wedding song.
Oh, is that right?
Laura's theme.
Could be, yeah.
I
But,
believe it is. I
Lara's
believe
theme
it
by
is.
Percy Faith.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know. the
and
version.
so Paul, like, why were you named Paul?
Dad named me. He thought it was a strong name, quote, end quote.
Nice.
Paul.
Well, what are the
Um,
apostles?
Interesting because I was born and immediately within minutes after me being born, doctors found out that I had spina bifida and had to rush me to emergency surgery. So my question, and I'll remember this later today when I talk to my dad, I want to know if he named me Paul before
Or after?
they knew I had spina bifida or after. I'll get back
That's
to
a
you.
good question.
I'll get back to you. That's a
It
good
is.
question. I'm just thinking about it now.
There's one you can read there, Paul, from Nicole.
Funny how we're talking about names. My mom wanted to name me Rebecca Marie, then thought about Naomi. I appreciate my name. I
Nice.
appreciate my name. I
Nice.
love to hear that. I appreciate my
Rebecca
name.
Marie, Naomi,
Yep.
and you became Nicole. There you go.
I appreciate my name. Names are huge. Like three, Han, Ja, and I. Hugely important names
Important names,
for
yeah.
me. I don't, Peter and John and Joe. It's great. That wonderful. I love it because my sister-in-law and my brother, they really like the traditional names. Well,
Yeah.
I wanted really original names.
Right.
Like I wanted just specific and original and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So
Yeah. Did you get Han from the Star Wars thing, or was
heck
that?
yeah, I did,
Oh, yeah,
baby.
yeah.
Heck,
Yeah, cool.
but it was convenient because my wife at the time, Han's mom,
Right.
she's also Han Chinese.
Right.
So, which is the ethnic dominant, the dominant ethnic group
Ethnic group.
in
Right.
China.
Yeah.
58% of Chinese
Well,
people
Isn't
are
the Han Dynasty
are-
quite?
and Han Dynasty. So it was really convenient. I absolutely named him Han after Han
Yeah,
Solo.
no, it's awesome.
but it worked really,
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
That
well,
worked,
right?
yeah, for
so
sure. I'm curious, James, who were you named after? or how did your mom come up with your name or your dad?
Any reason why?
Nope, just James. Just James.
I think names are important. The only thing, like with my name, that I would have wanted to change,
Yeah.
if I could have changed it, it's the syllabic sound of it. So Cliff Smith.
That's quite a word early
yeah.
in the morning.
It's
Syllabic.
two what would be called like soft consonant sounds, right?
Yeah.
Cliff Smith. So
Yeah.
Clifton Smith, Clifford Smith.
I like
It's the
Clifton
2 and the
Smith.
1, but I like Clifton. Clifton. If I would
Clifton
if I were
Smith.
to talk to my mom today and
Clifton.
say, Mom, I would like to change.
Sound
my
like part
name
of
to
a rock and roll
Clifton."
band.
I
Mhm.
know, right?
We just brought up Aaron, EH.
That's Aaron Ackerman.
REN, which is
Yeah.
Bill, you and I know an Aaron, friend of ours. EHREN, and Aaron is chiming in. Aaron, why were you you were named Aaron? Why is it spelt
That's a good question.
EHREN? Because I'm used to as a man, double A.
Yeah,
Double
and
A.
what I'd like to
O-N.
also know, Aaron, because you're well known for this. While you're watching the podcast, are you wearing your Ravenwood shirt
Attaboy.
or and your Ravenwood hat? He
Atta
usually wears it all
boy.
the time.
We need Podlie podcast shirts.
We do. Well, we're getting mugs. Yeah, we need Podlie podcast T-shirts.
We need Podlie podcast.
We
Yeah.
hadn't thought
It's like,
about that.
do you Podlie like we do?
Yeah.
We hadn't thought about that.
Or
Hey.
my favorite expression, right? To
Yeah.
Podlie or not to Podlie.
No,
Podlie,
yes,
the T-shirt.
that's a good one. To Podlie or
To
not
Podlie or not? That's my favorite expression. I started that way back
It's
when.
almost like to potty or not to potty.
I know, but I used to put that on the Facebook page, right? Like to Podlie
Yeah.
or not to Podlie. The
To
answer
To
is always
Podlie or
If
not
you
to
haven't watched
Podlie?
You're always
Put it in the
Podlie.
back. That is the question.
it, that is no question.
There is no question. I
That's
like
right.
that better.
That is no question. So to Podlie or not
like
to
that better.
Podlie, that is no question. ...
Yeah.
Podlie! Exclamation mark.
That's another thing too. Suzanne says something. I tried to give my kids names that were easy to pronounce and spell. Laura and Evan, but people still get them wrong somehow. It's funny that you say that. I was thinking about that too. All of my kids' names are monosyllabic. Ja, Han, I. And I specifically thought about that too, Suzanne, because I wanted them to be able to spell their name quickly, fast.
And the other thing is, like, if you have a name that's spelled differently, and then you get mad when people don't spell it correctly. Well, you can't do that. If your name is like Aaron over there, if I was talking to you and you said your name is Aaron, and the next, if I've never seen it in print, I'm gonna spell it double A R O N.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm sure it's a cultural thing or historic or ethnic spelling of some kind. I'm pretty positive of that. Funny story. I didn't think anybody could misspell Cliff. It's C-I, like C-I-L-F.
Yeah.
I didn't think anybody could misspell it, except they did. I got one communication and they spelled my name K-L-I-F, one F. So it must
I
be
have
German.
never
I was
seen
gonna say,
that
I've never
spelling
seen
in
Cliff
my
spelled with a
entire life.
K.
Yeah, K-L-I-F,
Wow.
one F.
I mean, even if you misspell Cliff, you're going to spell Cliff with a C. Even
That's
if
what I
you
would say,
misspell
right?
it,
Yeah,
you're
so
gonna spell it with a
I
C.
would see somebody missing an F,
Yeah.
but not changing a C to a K. Wow.
I was just thinking about something, Aaron. The next time I see you, I'm going to say, "Hey, Ren." That's what I'm going to do the next time I see you, Aaron.
And Laura says the fact I missed the first comment, but she says the fact that she loved the name Elizabeth.
Yeah,
Elizabeth
like it.
is a beautiful name.
Their first one was my daughter got their names like this. This is Laura, by the way. Piper was named after one of my favorite characters from Charmed. Got my middle name and then got her third name from a General Hospital character.
Wow. Yeah, lots of people named after the soap operas.
Soap operas.
Tons of people.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding me? Like Ashley, there was this major spike in Ashley at one point. That's because a lot of the soap opera stars were named, and then people like the characters, so they named their kids after them, type thing.
I did not know that.
Well, like a lot of people after music as well. Like we named our one daughter Chelsea based on Chelsea Morning.
Oh boy, Joni Mitchell's song.
Joni Mitchell.
Woke
So,
up, it was
yeah.
a Chelsea morning. And the
Love,
first thing I love that
Did
song.
you know Joni Mitchell's going to be performing at the Junos
I heard,
this
yeah.
year?
I heard, yeah.
Skylar was named, this is Laura again. Skylar was named after the car I sold.
Oh, the car.
To have them Lynn for my aunt Evelyn and my good friend Sherry, and the name Lynn as her middle name, and loved it how it flowed.
I used to like the
Oh.
Duke Skylars.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chelsea Morning. If you ever want to see a great rendition of Chelsea Morning, you can YouTube it. Chelsea Morning, Joni Mitchell in concert in the round. My God, I think she was like 19 or something.
One of my favorite
Just
albums.
blow you away.
One of my
Just
favorite albums of all time
absolutely
is
blow
Blue.
you
One of
away.
my favorite albums of all time
Blue?
is Blue.
Comment from Aaron there.
I think my parents wanted me to be brandable. It actually means to honor as in you honor someone or to be honorable. I
Yeah.
like it.
Is that a Scottish
it.
background,
I
Aaron?
like it.
Sounds Scottish to me.
Yeah.
Scottish or Irish, I suppose. I'd
Mm-hmm.
be curious to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Ren.
There's a gentleman that I have met whose name is Aaron, but he calls himself Aaron.
Aaron, double A.
Aaron. That's what
Every Aaron I
it's
know is
probably
double A.
one A.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably one Aaron. Aaron.
Yeah. And I actually met a gentleman named Aaron, spelled with like the women's name, like Erin.
Erin.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
all right. So
Names are fun.
James, what about Rod Stewart's real name? I think we should find out real names of these people.
We should. We
find
mentioned
out who they are.
but look at this. So Bruno Mars, Peter Jean Hernandez.
Peter Jan Hernandez.
Also known as Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars.
Yeah, it's kind of.
I love the is Latino. I can say Latino, right? Is that right? I love
think
the
so.
Latino people's the way they name.
Mhm.
That they name after like parents, and so that's why they have these long names.
Yep.
Like sorry.
Sorry, James was just pointing out. So Bruno Mars, named after Bruno Sammartino, who was a professional wrestler.
Oh,
Very
wrestler.
cool.
Nice, yeah.
Very cool.
But yeah, I love the Latino people how they name their kids. They name them like they got long names
Yeah.
because they named after like the very parents.
Yeah.
So it's like Alfredo, Ricardo, blah blah blah.
Montalban.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's so neat, right?
Yeah.
I like
So
it.
Rod Stewart was Roderick David Stewart.
Oh, so that was his real name.
Oh, so it's his real name.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, but Roderick, very English name.
And of course, we all know that Alice Cooper is Vincent Fournier.
Vincent Fournier. Oddly enough, another one of my trivia questions last night.
Yeah.
So funny that you say that. Vincent Fournier.
I'm
yeah.
never good at trivia. Trivia is like people think I am because,
Love it, buddy.
but
I
I'm
love it.
never good at trivia.
I'm not good at trivia either because I panic.
yeah.
I'm always trying to answer, and I know there's other people.
I love
and
it.
So then my mind goes blank, and I can't.
See, and the
figure it
thing
out.
is, trivia for me, the only trivia that I know, the reason I knew about Elton John's name, because I'm a massive Elton John fan, right?
Mhm.
So I know it because it's in some way
Mhm.
important to me. But outside of that, as far as trivia goes,
Love
I'm
it.
terrible.
I like to know a little bit about many things.
No,
I'm
but
not-
that's okay.
I'm not-
Hold on.
It's funny because I did go to post-secondary. I went to radio. I went to specifically broadcasting school. I'm not someone who wants to know everything about one particular subject, i.e., a degree, a doctorate, what have you. Right? I'm somebody who wants to know a little bit about damn near everything. You know,
Yeah.
I don't have to be a scholar in any of the topics, but I want to know just a little. I want to be able to hold at least a regular conversation.
Okay, but I want to catch you on this for
Yeah.
a moment
Yeah.
because I'm curious about this. I don't think trivia is knowing something about everything. I think trivia is disconnected from most intelligences. And no, hear me.
Because
Let me clarify. Because trivia is separated from the depth of conversation that one could have about any topic.
Yep, I
To
won't
know
disagree
that
with you.
to know that Rod Stewart's real name is Roderick, whatever, is of no earthly value
End conversation.
and conversation, right? So as far as I'm concerned, I don't regard, and please, I'd love to debate it with anybody who's willing to. I don't regard trivia knowledge. Matter of fact, I don't regard knowledge at all
Mhm.
as intelligence. Knowledge is not intelligence. The aggregation of knowledge, the aggregate knowledge that one actually ingests into their system is not intelligence. It is what comes of that knowledge. It is how that knowledge is used and adapted to life. That is what wisdom is. And wisdom and intelligence go hand in hand. Knowledge is neither of those two.
Okay. And I won't disagree with you one iota. So before knowledge is retained,
Mhm.
what's the step before? What do you call that? What is that?
Curiosity.
It's probably
Curiosity.
good. Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
But, and that's why I say
Interest, curiosity.
yeah,
absolutely.
and that's why I say intelligence is born, right? The mother of intelligence is curiosity.
Yeah. Agreed.
Right.
Agreed.
But knowledge is not. But
Okay.
knowledge is not, and I guess that's the key distinction is that knowledge is not intelligence. Because anybody can rote memorize anything. That doesn't give you intelligence or wisdom. It's how you adapt it to what life is.
Would you equate the mother of knowledge as curiosity? Agreed. Would you equate the mother of knowledge also being interest?
Interest, curiosity, interest. What do you think, Bill?
No, I completely agree. That's why I didn't kind of jump in on
Yeah.
anything there. I completely agree with what you say. And James, sorry, is still throwing up different people's names.
Oh, what's
here.
Tom Cruise's name?
So Thomas Cruise. I don't know how-
Mapother.
Mapother?
The fourth.
Wow. He's got quite the handle. Hey, he never changed his name though. Oh, just on a
Yeah.
totally random side note,
Yeah.
speaking of trivia for no reason, often actors have to change the name because they can't be two of the same name in the IMDb,
Of course.
whatever you call it. You guys know
That could be that as well, for sure. yeah.
Julie Roberts is now known as Julia Roberts because there was already a Julie Roberts as an actor.
as an actor.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, you want to think that. By the way, going back a few comments too. So Aaron said something about German or Dutch.
Oh,
descent.
German. Okay. Oh, that makes sense, Aaron. That makes sense. That's
Yeah.
right. The EH.
German, from what I'm told, could also be Dutch. He says, I like to think it's the Canadian spelling A.
Yeah.
Ren.
Yeah.
You're stuck with it now, brother. Hey,
A.
Ren.
Ren. Yeah.
I love names. I think it's fast. Genealogy.
It's interesting
names.
how people come up with even when people name their pets.
Yeah.
Like, how do you come up with a name for your dog or your cat or your rabbit or hamster or whatever? Like,
We've always had weird names.
yeah.
No, weird, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know what adjective you want to use, but my current dog's name is Rootly.
Why?
Really?
Rootly because, okay, his full name is actually Rootly Schwer.
The fourth.
Rootly Schwer. And what that is if you look up Wikipedia, Rootly Schwer, Rootly is a plain, is a meadow in Switzerland. And
Okay.
Schwer in High German or Swiss is an oath.
Hmm.
So if you look up Rootly Schwer, what it is the plains of Rootly is where they swore the oath of loyalty. The Schwer.
The Rootly Tootly falls mainly on the Pootly.
Exactly. So he was named Rootly because he's a Swiss mountain dog, and his real name was fantastic. Like his name from the adoption site was Farnan, which is a beautiful name. But we were just looking around, and Leslie Ann saw this Rootly, like Swiss, blah blah blah, and she was like, "That's weird, eh, Cliff?" And I'm saying Rootly, R-U-T umlaut, right? R-U umlaut, R-U-T-L-I, and I'm like, it's kind of nice after saying it for a while. So, and our chocolate lab, he was named Mowgli. After the Jungle Book's
The
Mowgli.
Jungle Book.
Oh, yeah.
Because he's a lanky brown dude, right?
Yeah.
And I used to tell everybody Mowgli was one of my wife's two favorite chocolate chaps, possibly her favorite chocolate chap.
Chocolate chap. You're sliding in second, baby. You're sliding in seconds.
I'm sliding in second. Okay, I don't know how we got on names here. Did we even have a topic or no?
We didn't really have a topic set. We got to get one set for next.
We got to
week.
get one set.
We were just talking about that this morning. We
Yeah,
were kind of we were getting everybody's feet wet for the first few episodes, and then we'll jump in on the
But we
topic.
kind of jumped in here with talking about
Great
everybody's
topic,
names.
though.
They're
I
talking
love
about
it.
names. I like names.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Great
what about
topic.
some of you? So I heard from Laura and Nicole. And what about you, Amy? Amy, what's your middle name? Hold on. Lee. Amy Lee, right? What about your name? Oh, what is speaking of?
She's
her?
talking about exactly what you were kind of.
I got her. You can have a degree and specialize in something or one topic of conversation, but then also grow your mind in different areas so that you do know a little bit about different things while ...
Yeah, absolutely, Amy.
Yeah. She's still thinking.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. No, I agree.
Typing is hard.
While also maintaining the degree or specialty. I agree.
No, 100%.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Hey, well, I tell you what, right? I mean, really, the first year or a couple of years of university really should be about that exploration as to where a child wants.
Well, an arts degree.
Right. Where
Also known as an arts degree.
Also known as an arts degree, right? Yeah. And because not all of us have a linear path to what we want to do, right?
Mhm.
You know, some of us take a very crooked path to deciding what it is we want to do.
Oh, shoot. It took me till I was 28.
Well, okay. Well, it's still earlier than
Figure it out.
I'm still checking.
Jeez.
What about you, Bill?
My path was early because I started training as a cook.
As a cook, yeah.
And
I
then,
don't think I knew that. I
Yeah.
knew that about you.
and then while I was doing that, I was working in the paint business and rose very quickly with the company I was with. So I became a store manager, like after only being like 2 years with the company.
Nice.
So I ended up having my own store.
Let me backtrack for a second. Training as a cook, you meant on the job, or you meant you went to
training as
post-secondary?
a cook
You went to Nate.
to commercial cooking.
I didn't know that.
And then realized after that, while I loved cooking, I didn't love the stress of being in a restaurant kitchen.
Mm.
Right.
Like it's fun, but it's very stressful.
It's high stress.
It's high stress. So
I cooked for 5 years.
I didn't like that. Yeah. So anyway,
My brother's culinary arts and has never pursued it. I think he graduated and I don't. Well, that's not true. I think he did waiting at a White Ave thing, but I don't think he ever cooked per se.
Yeah. So
to your point,
And didn't you get into electronics after?
well, so I was in the paint business, but and like I said, I ended up having my own store, and so I ran that, and but still wasn't kind of fully fulfilled, even though I'd always had an interest in film and movies and of course acting, because I'd been acting before that and during all those times, and I was making like Super 8 films and things like that, and so I thought, well, really I think I should get into something. So that was my decision to go to Grant MacEwan, because I did want to get into electronics.
Right.
The program I took at Grant MacEwan at that time, which is no longer available, but was called audiovisual communications. So I had to go back and do a bunch of upgrading though to get into Grant MacEwan, because the marks that they wanted and English levels that
75 and up
was quite high. So I had to go back and I did a bunch of upgrading as night classes and did that. And then after I finished Grant MacEwan, which was a great 2-year program, I really enjoyed it. I got hired into the AV business by an AV company, and but then I still wanted to do more. So I decided, well, I still want to do radio and television arts. So I went to NAIT and did that as well.
Nice.
And
so then how many times did you graduate and go back to school for something else?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the middle of the podcast.
Geez, sorry, I hadn't even realized.
I know you were looking at your watch there. I'm thinking.
Well, I was really looking at my watch because our crack producer over here
was signaling it.
Giving you the thumbs up. Giving you the thumbs up.
Thanks, James. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
How many times did you go to school, graduate, leave, and then come back for something else?
Probably 3 times.
Yeah, I was just going to say I counted 3.
So, but anyway, having said all of that, so then, but I ended up staying. So I've been in the AV business, commercial audiovisual business, for 30 years.
Yeah.
And then doing my acting, and well, I was also, but in like prior to that, like I did work at Shaw Cable, so I was a cameraman at Shaw, and then so I was doing everything from shooting talk shows to sporting events to curling to you name it, whatever they needed a camera guy. I was out shooting, and then ended up having my own show on Shaw TV. So that's where the beginning of Arts Talk came. So Arts Talk was a television show, which was awesome until then. Then they Shaw made the decision to shut Shaw TV down in Edmonton. Everybody.
What year was that? I can't remember. What year was that?
Oh, I don't remember now.
10, 12.
No,
was it about 15 years ago?
After that, it was probably more in the 2017 range. It shut down.
Because I remember.
And it's, of course, so everybody lost their jobs because they decided just to keep Shaw in Red Deer and not have it in Edmonton.
You guys is sort of the mainstream sort of legacy media dead? Is it done? Have we done?
I think it's.
Is it in the last throes?
I think radio and stuff is struggling.
Be careful.
I know it's. That's what you're in.
We often talk about this at work. We often talk about this at work.
And you're a little bit different because yes, while you're on radio, you're still, you're doing your traffic reports and that kind of thing, and you're on multiple stations doing your reports, right? Everybody does 2 or 3 stations. Is that how it works?
Yeah, give or take. Yeah.
But mainstream radio, like I know that, for an example, Mix 107 out in Fort Saskatchewan, Rob Christie has retired again. So I was asking, my cousin works at that. He's one of the sales guy now at that station. But anyway, I said, so are they replacing him? And he says, actually, chances are they're not going to replace him. They may get a new afternoon person, but they'll probably go to syndicate.
I was just going to say they're going to syndicate, Phil. Syndication is huge. You have very few in any venue, in any market. Venue market. You don't have a lot. Well, first of all, you don't have a lot of local talent, and second of all, a lot of it is going to syndication. A lot of it is.
So to you guys out there, other than being in your car, let's say, and listening to hi Deb, other than being in your car, let's say, and listening to the radio on your way to and from work, do you all listen to radio? I'd be really curious to know. And outside of radio, like even television news, I don't really watch. I don't watch television news at all.
Like I know with Global, for an example, which is part of Course, and I know some people that have been there, and over the past, even before Christmas, they've been laying people off left and right. Like they're down to maybe 2, if that, if they even have that camera guys. Like they used to have multiple camera guys, so they could cover all sorts of events
Yeah.
and things. They're down to like maybe 2 camera guys at the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah, so I don't know if anybody like I try to catch, the CBC headlines, the night, whatever. I try to catch
Yeah.
the news to keep up with sort of what's going on. But as far as getting any in-depth news, like if I really want to know what's going on, I'm certainly not going to go to CBC or Global or nothing. Or I'm going to go to independent media. I'm going to go to media that's on site. If I wanted to get the whole story, because nobody gives you the whole story.
So I'm doing radio traffic. I'm on the radio, and how much time do you guys have? So if I may, you guys, please do me a personal favor. Just go on AM FM radio for 10 minutes a day, please. That would, and I mean that wholeheartedly. Please help me out. Because here's the thing, you guys. Now I do think, and we talk about this at work, I do think that traffic is safe, and I do think that news is safe. Talk shows, I think, will become a thing of the past, and if they do not, it's all going to be syndication anyways, out of Toronto.
Okay, but even traffic, though, I was curious about this because I was listening to CBC radio, not lately, but probably a year or so, I can't remember, and they had the traffic report on, and it turns out that they were just looking at Google Maps.
So we've already,
like literally, they would. So it's not like Global had a chopper in the air and all that type of
That's
stuff.
gone now.
We've already lost our chopper.
It's gone. And when I'm listening to CBC, they were actually looking at the app. Well, I can do that. I don't need them to tell me what's going on Google Maps. I can see it.
So what are you saying?
Well,
What are you saying? You saying my job's not going to be around very much?
I'm saying it, Paulie.
What are you
I
saying?
hate to break it to you, my friend. I don't think there's a
And this
future in
scares
it.
the hell out of me, because what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And don't you guys use
What am I going to do?
So 102.3 now radio, which is one of the only stations now. Like K97 still has some live guys on the morning show.
Well,
Terry Evans,
they all do,
and Todd James. They all have some. 102.3 has always been in the top of the ratings with its morning talk show.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
And but they use. They have a huge chat on that station,
right?
And I think you mentioned to me you grab traffic information from 102 now, because people are always sending in. Like I said, they have a huge listenership. Probably they're
number one. They are number one. 102.3. 102.3.
They're like, their morning show is 4 people. It's called Crash and Mars. So it's the 2 main hosts.
Crash and what?
Crash and Mars. So it's a lady, and they're actually married. So it's actually a husband.
Oh, nice.
But then they have
that's awesome.
Another gentleman and their kind of producer, Haley, who jumps in as well. But so they're mainly fun talk, like fun chat, fun chat.
That sounds
lots
fun.
of different topics and stuff they talk about. They play some music in between.
And the husband and wife.
They're the number 1 rated show.
That's cool.
So they keep going, but they have a huge listenership as well.
Right.
So they get their chat like ours going all the time. So they're and that's where I know Paul had mentioned to me that they get traffic information from as well. Because people will text in, I'm on the road, I'm on the hen day, and there's like this huge incident, or there's a car stall that's blocking lane, whatever, right?
Sounds cool.
So where else do you guys get your traffic information? Because you're based at the airport. So where else do you get your information from?
Google Maps.
So
there you go.
Yeah.
Google Maps, a couple others. Yeah, a couple others. And we are on the radio station chats.
Right.
102.3 we use all the time.
Yeah.
And a couple of others as well.
And that was actually really sort of
because they're the eyes on the ground, you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the boots on the ground.
Yeah.
We're in an office now. Helicopter's gone. Would we have loved, and we talk about this, would we have loved to continue? Absolutely.
What if we have drones up there?
What a wonderful way that would be.
I'd be curious to know. Yeah,
fantastic.
William Kirkland just mentioned that they were using a drone to watch traffic. Now I haven't seen that. So unless that's monitoring, it's not. I don't think any of the stations that I know of are using drones to monitor traffic, radio or television. But
I didn't see who commented, but somebody commented, my daughters love now radio. And
Laura.
That demographic, it's a young demographic. It's 12 to 25, 30, 35. So, and it's a young demographic, and they're wonderful jocks.
Now
that is the Crash and Mars thing you're telling me about?
Okay. They're wonderful jocks. Yeah, they really are. They're very engaging and stuff like that. Yeah.
Do you know what? And I think that's the difference, right? I mean, There are no disc jockeys anymore. They used to be very entertaining,
Yeah.
stuff like that. There's
Roger
none of that.
radios.
That's gone long gone. Now you got some dude pushing, MP3 buttons on a computer to play the songs. So that changed. Blah 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 blah. So I don't know. Like the evolution of radio has sort of it moved its own way out of the market, so to speak, right?
It's fully changed.
Because well, in my mind, they themselves moved themselves out of the market. They made it less interesting to be on the radio, and therefore less. If it's less interesting to be on the radio, it's definitely less interesting to listen
to the radio.
So when you tell me about this crash in Mars, I'd love to have a. I'd like to see that because that sounds like it's fun.
They're well done,
mornings,
right? So in terms of that, if they're having fun on the radio, then you're going to enjoy it. And I think radio over the number of years they have been their own demise by making behind the scenes not fun. Therefore, then when you're listening to it, it's not fun.
You know what they did, Cliff? They de-evolved. That's what they did.
Yeah, is that right?
Back when 2002, 2003, and I was just on the tail end of people coming in and having a blast in the radio stations and interviewing big names and having in the studio and it was a radio was a party, you guys. Radio was a party in the 80s. You remember that?
Yeah,
in the 80s and 90s?
Well, it was big then, and the money was good especially for the guys that got the morning shows. Like the money was, a lot of them made six figures, and they like the
high
there's no
six.
There's no money in it anymore. And I know, like I remember, I did some stuff at CKST, which is no longer a station in St. Albert when I was in, and when we were still doing vinyl. And so you'd queue up, you had your two turntables, and you'd backspin. You had to backspin and queue everything up. Then I did an all-nighter show actually on the UVA station, which is CJSR.
Oh, did you see? I didn't know you did CJSR.
I used to do like a midnight to 6 a.m. Show. And still then you're still using like what were called carts, which look like 8 tracks. But they were carts. That's where all the commercials and everything. So you had to pop on queue all your cart machines. Of course, everything's fully automated. You don't do any of that now. But
it's funny though, because in order to sort of feed the capitalist machine, right? All of the radio stations, that's what they did. They started lowering the staff, automating stuff, and then all of a sudden there's no records spinning, and then there was cassettes and blah blah blah, and then there was CDs, and now there's just pushing buttons on a computer because it's all digital based. I mean, so the capitalist machine basically wanted more and more and more dollars out of the system versus keeping the system organic and fun.
Yeah,
100%.
Which I feel bad for the kids that are at NAIT now, because you can still take the radio and television program.
I don't understand that.
It's a lot different because it's become a lot more digital. Having said that, though,
it's social media.
Well, it's a lot more social media, but I don't know where those kids are going to get jobs.
Bill, you could be saying that about so many things now.
Yeah.
Right. There are, I don't know if I mentioned this last time on our big AI chat there, but there are kids currently enrolling in a 4-year program to come out as a code engineer
with an arts degree.
But to come out as a coding engineer. Well, coding AI is already coding AI. So if AI is already coding AI in 4 years, do you think you're actually going to need coders? In order to get a job, you're going to have to be the absolute top echelon, right? The 0.1% of the 1% of coders who are brilliant. Those are the ones who are going to have jobs. Everybody else, AI. I mean, already ChatGTP. If you go to ChatGTP right now and you're doing a spreadsheet and you don't know what formulas to use, with a few questions and backup questions, you can get your entire thing programmed for you.
Well, and you can see even the difference of the stations, like 880 CHED, which used to be 630 CHED. And you'll know, Cliff, because I took you there a couple times to do interviews with the late, rest in peace, Bruce Bowie.
Bruce Bowie.
He passed away.
R.I.P.
But I would take you there because he would do interviews. He always was such a supporter of mine for all my shows and stuff.
So many years,
And he had his big studio. Remember,
he was amazing.
And he'd always stood. He never sat. And he would always run his board and all that kind of stuff.
He'd do everything, right? Producer, host.
He was doing
everything.
It all. And so now when you go to 880, that's all gone.
That's all gone.
So that stations, they have one on-air studio now, and then that's it.
That's it.
So
they've got 2 studios. They've got the news studio, and then they've got the regular program studio.
So they have their news stuff, which is mainly just sitting at your desk now.
It's a wide open desk, is what it is. That's all it is. The mic is there.
And then the on-air studio, because I go there for my Ravenwood interviews
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
And so surprised when I walk in there and it's just like his studio's gone.
Yeah.
And the old studio where Brian Hall used to sit in is gone,
Right, gone.
because Brian could watch through the glass. Bruce, that's
Yeah.
all gone.
Yeah.
None of that's there. And then so the news people just sit at their desks now with
Yeah.
the mic and do their news.
See, that was
there.
the last of the heyday. This is what I
Yeah.
mean, right? And this is what I mean when I said that. I think the market, and then to feed the capitalistic whatever, they kept on taking the fun out of radio.
Oh, they
took the
did.
fun out of it. And the
They
moment you take the fun out of it on the back end, you're not going to have the same. It's like I tell people, right? If you want to have a conversation with somebody on the phone, stand up, put a smile on your face, and then use the phone, because the other person can tell the energy level is there.
100%.
You know?
As somebody who's done some voice acting as well, smile, and it comes
Comes
across in audio.
But-
It really does.
So that's what I mean. If the
Yeah.
person behind is having
Yeah.
fun, it comes.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting at a sterile desk
Mhm.
and talking into a microphone and somebody else is pushing
Yeah.
the buttons for the computer, how much fun could you possibly transmit out into the ether?
Well, if you go back to the days that you said of the rock jocks and
Yeah.
well, Ched used to be a rock station, and the West Montgomery days, with-
West Montgomery
with
days, yeah.
West Montgomery, and he was like the #1 guy in the city.
He
Everybody
was the
loved him.
guy.
He made huge six figures.
Yeah.
He would show up. I've heard stories from like Bruce Bowie. West flying into the station 10 minutes before his show because he'd been partying and drinking all night
Yeah.
before, and he'd be coming in smelling like a brewery. And
Jungle J
Jay
Hamilton, God
Hamilton,
love you,
yeah.
man. You're
those
you're
are the fun.
amazing. You're my idol. He told me stories about partying in the Rolling Stones limousine, Bon Jovi limousine.
all those things.
He
that used to happen.
he
And
Oh.
everything, even the weather, man. I mean, look at
Yeah.
Mather and doing the weather.
Bill
man.
Matheson on
Bill
I-
Matheson.
I-
I
that's what I
loved
meant.
Bill Matheson.
With his whiteboard.
Oh,
Yeah, it is.
R.I.P. to him
And they
too.
would,
He
you know,
was
they would
great.
They would write the temperatures on the
But
board.
that was
and
all
then
fun. Now what happens for a weather person? They stand in front of a green screen pointing at
It's
nothing.
all green screen. Well,
very
like all the
clinical
studios now,
now.
like CTV and again Global. When you go there for interviews, there's no camera people anymore.
You know,
like when I used
No.
to work in the studio, like I said, I was a camera guy.
Yeah.
So you had your camera guys, you had your floor director. Nothing. There's nothing now.
And now literally
It's all
the,
done-
the,
it's all
the
automated.
weather person is pointing at a green screen, not even seeing it.
It's so yeah, the whole Global studio and CTV is all green
All
screen.
green.
You know what's really funny? On Thursday, a very big thing happened in local radio, and it was the 40th anniversary of Terry Evans being on air. Terry Evans, I
Right.
love you. You are radio royalty in
K97.
this town. K97. I met him once, tall. He's like 6'5", 6'6".
He's a very tall.
I
guy.
met him one time, 90s. Anyways, it was 40th anniversary of being on air. Okay, not a producer, not a creative writer, of being on air.
He's one of the guys who just has stuck it out. He
Oh.
used to do a thing on his show years ago where he would invite certain people on, whether it be a business or whatever. So I started to get on there with the AV business I was with. I was with a company called Inland at that point, and so I would bring a couple of my staff guys, and you'd go on, and he'd have you on for like 10 minutes on a morning once during the week. It was just like a fun thing. So we would go sit in the studio and do this little thing with him.
Yeah.
And but yeah, he's one of the guys who's stuck it out and been there forever. Same with Crash and Mars. And
So
like they've been around radio forever.
So-
Before they,
so Thursday, 40 years, and I'm sitting at my desk and I'm doing traffic and I'm doing K97 traffic work. Terry Evans does the morning show. And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I really want to say, Terry Evans, congratulations on 40 years. Collision on the head. I backed off because I'm thinking, geez, am I going to get in trouble for saying this? Am I because I didn't go, quote unquote off script, but I went off script. Do you know what I mean? They want it just conversational and just matter of fact and stuff like that. So I was not able to wish you happy 40th years on Thursday. I'm wishing it to you now, Terry Evans. You are a god, and I love you.
go back. There was that one comment, James.
I don't think he listens to his podcast.
He
Chad.
probably,
Get on here.
if he doesn't yet, you've got 202
There it is.
podcasts to listen to, baby.
Nicole says Bill Matheson in the Idaho High.
Idaho
High. I
Everybody
remember
always
that. I
said
remember that.
The Idaho High. And so at the course station or at the Global Television station, his map is down. When you go downstairs to studios, his map is up there.
Is up there, yeah.
And with his writing on the felt, so they kept it as a momentum to him, right?
Bob Layton's been a huge
Bob
influence on me.
Layton, yeah.
Huge influence on me.
Yeah.
To see Brian Hall work is amazing. It's amazing. The guy he's flawless.
Brian
Absolutely flawless.
Brian is really good. I've had the lucky chance to have lunch with Brian
He's
on
amazing.
some occasions.
What a human.
And when you have lunch with him, I just let him do the talking, because you ask him anything about radio stories, because he's been in radio for like 70 years, whatever. He's almost 90 now. He doesn't come on radio very much anymore. He was still doing a little bit here and there, but the stories he tells about his time in radio, and you can just sit back and have your lunch and
just chill and listen.
he says,
Right?
yeah, we did this, and of course he was heavily involved with the Grey Cup way back when the Grey Cup was
years
huge,
and years and years.
And some of the stories he would talk about, like, yeah, it's amazing.
There you go. Well done, James. Bill Matheson. Bill Matheson.
James is just showing us a picture of the original weather map, and yeah, when you go down the studio, you can see it there, and it's really cool. One nice thing about Global, which is kind of cool as well, is if you all remember the show SCTV, which was filmed here in Edmonton. So right next door is the big, huge soundstage that SCTV was done in, which is still there. It doesn't get used much for film or television now. It is owned. There's actually also a full pit in there if you want to do underwater shooting. A lot of people probably don't know that, but it's there. It's covered up now. But that was kind of interesting as well, is that SCTV used to shoot right next to where it was ITV, of course. That studio was there, and so you had John Candy and all these guys that were in that studio.
Eugene Levy was there.
Eugene
Joe
Levy.
Flaherty.
Yeah.
How fast things have changed. Like not a lot of years ago, and all of a sudden everything's just gone completely different.
Well, like you said, everything became automated. We became out with
that's still a short time.
Things like Sirius now. So Sirius Radio, which is tons of syndicated shows, and also every show, every station, everybody's on Sirius now.
James says it's been 15 years. 55 years. Since 50 years, it's been whatever change. That's a short time.
50 years since what, James? Oh yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
No. But I guess what I'm saying is, like, if you look at the advent and or the evolution, or whatever you want to call it, of the television radio market, everything has changed so rapidly. And you talking about syndication, I don't know, maybe there are some people on online that don't know what that means. We're talking jargon here. But the fact of the matter, what syndication means is that instead of a person sitting in Edmonton with a talk show, they take the Edmonton radio station and get a feed from somebody sitting in Idaho at a station. And that Idaho person is syndicated across so many radio stations. So let's say 100 radio stations or 200 radio stations will be hearing the same dude, but he's sitting in a studio in Idaho talking to you. So that's what
I've done that,
means.
Cliff. I've done that.
So that's what syndication means.
I have as well.
Is that we draw in communication to our radio station from elsewhere. So what's going to happen is, ultimately, this is what happens, and this is the degradation of all good things when it comes to media, is that slowly you get this pyramid where all of the bottom radio stations get syndicated programs coming from other stations, and pretty soon you have one voice, the voice of Voldemort or something,
the voice of reason,
coming to you, and all of the radio stations and everything else, and all of the people, millions upon millions, are listening to the same broadcast. That is the ultimate evolution of syndication. And I'm telling you something, if anybody doesn't know,
do you know how Orwellian that is? Do you know how Orwellian that is?
Hugely, yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it's not like we're not there already, but
when I finished my mornings at CJSR after my all-nighter, I would cut to BBC.
Right.
I would switch to BBC. That's how I ended my show.
Ended the show,
it would go over to BBC, and then it's
and that's why we had such sort of mono opinions. All of us had the same opinions, because there was only BBC and only CBC telling us what to think, right? And so everybody thought the same. My father-in-law, God bless him, he had CBC radio on from morning till night. Well, what do you think his opinions were? His opinions were everything that the CBC told him,
of course,
because that's all he ever listened to. The difference now in our age, in my age, where we're at now, and anybody with a curious mind like I do, perhaps, we have a plethora of options, and most of us now, those of us who want to know, we seek out those options and we listen to alternative opinions.
I agree with you. We are still creatures of habit. and I'll give you an example. When I was in radio school, one of our tasks, one of our homework was to every single day listen to 2 or 3 or 4 different radio stations. It was
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Mm.
It was uncomfortable because I didn't have the same voice. I didn't have the same quote unquote friend
Right.
that I was listening to every day. We are creatures of habit. That's tough for a lot of people, Cliff.
I
You know?
guess. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
And,
I think
just-
it's imperative though, Paulie.
Oh,
Especially in
I
our
don't
day.
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
And,
Absolutely.
there was a comment William Kirkland made earlier. Last time he was at CFRN, which is CTV, was to be on Popcorn Playhouse.
Wow.
And
that
so I
goes
was on
back.
Popcorn Playhouse when I was a kid.
No way, were you?
Yeah,
Really?
well, way back, and I remember it vividly. I remember going in this little studio.
Jeez, I gotta get your
It always,
autograph.
it always looked so big on TV.
Right.
But then you got in the studio, and they did have the little wooden bleachers that the kids all sat in.
Right.
And then you had your host, and then there was like multiple camera guys. And of course, back then the cameras were absolutely humongous.
Yeah.
And the floor director, and then I always think because they always on Popcorn Playhouse when you watched it at home. Of course, they would go to a cartoon and it was on your whole screen and stuff. But of course, when you're there live back then, the monitor was probably no bigger than what we're looking at right now in this studio, and it was way over there. And I thought, well, how the heck can I watch the cartoon? And you're sitting in the bleachers, and the monitor's like way over there. And
What year is Popcorn Playhouse? Early 80s. I think it.
that was before that. It was probably late 60s, early 70s.
Was it? It wasn't even 80s, eh?
No, it wasn't 80s.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. But anyway, yeah. And again, like I said, it's such a difference as we talked about automation. Because like I said, you go into those studios now and everything's fully green screen. The only, like the weather person, track person has displays on each side so they can turn back and forth.
Yeah.
And the news desk.
Yeah.
And then all the cameras are on automated tracks. So they're all controlled from the control room, which is upstairs. So it's neat, like you interview set, and all these cameras start rotating in the room and switching in front of you, and the teleprompters all move over, and it's all automated, right? Which is bad because, like I said, when I was just shooting camera, we were cameras.
So Popcorn Playhouse.
Klondike Eric as the host, Eric Neville. So it ran from 63 to 78.
Thanks, James.
I thought it was a little later than that. Thank you, James.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm in 78. I'm 3 years old, but at the same time, I remember Popcorn Playhouse. I don't know how. So
Yeah.
But
Amy says, "Oh, I can't read that, Paulie. Can you read?
we all are creatures of habit, but you can grow if you don't step outside of your. But if you can't grow, but you can't grow if you don't step outside of your comfort zone and outside of those habits that you've built over time. You need to make yourself uncomfortable to grow. I agree. 100%.
Advice.
Yeah,
Wise,
absolutely.
Wise advice, Amy. Wise
Very
advice.
good advice. Now, if I could only say that for my height.
Yeah.
William, I remember when they asked what my favorite TV show, what was my favorite
Hogan's
TV
Heroes,
show?
eh?
And I said Hogan's Heroes at the time.
Hogan's Heroes.
Because Klondike Eric or whatever, Eric Neville, he would walk around with his long old stick mic, and he would ask the kids questions like, "What do you like to watch on TV?" or whatever. And he'd hold the mic, right? So the kids would all have to come up with these answers.
I always get pushback when I tell people I have not seen one episode of MASH, and it's Paul, you have to see MASH.
What do you mean you haven't seen one episode of MASH?
I have not seen one episode of MASH. I cannot get into MASH, and Paul, you got to get into MASH.
Get off that microphone.
See, case in point.
Is there a way we cannot use this close-up camera?
Yeah,
case in point.
Can we cut that, please?
So,
Paulie, what
I have
what
to,
I've
yeah.
told friends
Wow.
who don't know about MASH and blah blah blah.
I even own the whole box set.
I've owned like every version of it. I own like the the cassettes and the discs and the DVDs. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
What I tell people, Paulie,
Yeah.
about MASH is that the first 2 seasons, you need to get past the first season, and I'll tell you why. The reason is this: the first season of MASH, they saw recruitment go up in the States. Okay. Because it looked like so much. All was just balls.
Because I made it look like
Is it Vietnam or Korean?
Korea.
It's Korean. Okay.
Yeah, I have to wear a dress like Klinger.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was all fun the first season,
Mhm.
and they made it look like it was the best fun in the world.
Yep.
So then all of a sudden recruitment went up.
Was that by design?
No.
That was not by
No,
design.
and that's what happened. So then the producers went, whoa.
Yeah.
We're not doing an advertisement for the war. We don't like the war.
Yeah, their whole thing was against the war.
Again, so what they started doing was showing some of the terrible parts of war while still within the comedic zone.
Mhm.
So now all of a sudden, the first season, you're looking at, yeah, it's pitty shit, right?
Yep.
And even it was still pretty good.
Okay.
But anyway, and then all of a sudden it comes the second season, and then they started actually showing some of the horrors of
Yeah.
war,
Yeah.
but it still maintained the comedy.
Yeah, for sure. So MASH is something we only got a minute left. So
Yeah.
MASH though was and that's the way it went. Like they were
Quintessential.
able to keep that comedy and able to also show you how bad it was and the stress that those doctors and everything
And it
were
got
going
better
through.
I've never
and
seen an
better
episode.
and better
Yeah, so
through
you'll
the
have to
seasons,
watch it.
and all of a sudden you get to season 6, 7, 8, and it's like unbelievable because you know the characters. Anyway,
Please
you
listen
guys,
to conventional radio, please.
quick wrap up. Thank you all for joining us on this wonderful Saturday morning. I don't know, we kind of talked about jargon, which is normally not interesting for a lot of people, so I hope you stayed with us. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for coming and spending some of your Saturday morning with us. We really appreciate it. Please share this podcast whether you like it or not, and subscribe to the channel if you have not.
Yeah, get to that YouTube, sign up, hit the notification bell as well, because we now will have the episode scheduled as this one was scheduled on YouTube. So you know when we're going to come up. Get your friends to subscribe. We got to get those subscriptions up as well. And back next Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Enjoy your coffee. I don't drink coffee, but you can enjoy your coffee.
Have an amazing week, everybody. Thank you all for joining us.
And most
Much
importantly,
appreciated.
stay happy.
See you guys all later.